Hey, hello, welcome everybody to the show. Let's just do a little switch here. Um, I'm Gaz Williams. Hey, here I am. Yes, so long term watchers of my show will think, hey, where are you? I'm in a different spot. Yes, this, as I can't quite reach my switcher, so I'm just mousing around here. Okay, so look at this. Look how things have moved on. So over the course of lockdown, really, is when I started my modular adventure, and now look where I'm at. And I have actually just pulled all the cables out, or nearly all of them, because I realised what I've got to show you tonight is enormous. There's loads and loads and loads of stuff here. Okay, so I'm super excited about all of this because it really has started to, I feel I've turned a corner with this stuff. It feels like I'm in love with it now. I've been a bit timid, as I'm sure you've all seen, but now it's all kind of starting to make sense. How has that happened? What's been the thing that's made things happen for me? In part, is probably my most expensive module to date is the Morphagene, and I really thought long and hard about this one, but really that one has really transformed the experience for me, so I hope to show some of that. Also, and this one is a wild card, really. It was just I saw it locally, being sold locally, and I wanted to investigate it. It's this one here. Now, it's called Elements. Now, this is a clone of Elements. Elements is a Mutable Instruments module. And of course, Mutable Instruments, they make them open source. So there's quite a lot of clones available. Elements, what is it? It's a physical modeling synthesizer. And I was really, really interested in it because that's an area of synthesis that feels still largely untapped the potential. I've tried various physical modeling synths over the years, including the Yamaha, oh gosh, I need some help remembering the name of it now, VL1M, VL1, I think it was called. And that was from the 1990s, and that had a load of like physical models of instruments. So that means that rather than it being based in the typical kind of subtractive synthesizer way with familiar to us synthesis terms anyway, oscillators going into filters, having LFOs move things around and envelopes to move things around, that kind of thing. Physical modeling really relies on quite a different approach. So that's what we're going to start with tonight. I'm going to have a little play with Elements. And once we start getting somewhere with Elements, I'm going to then start patching maybe the Batumi and the Zadar from Chaos devices into the Elements, because Elements then, once you start to kind of move stuff around, it really does produce incredibly interesting tones. Then we're going to take the output of that out and then into Morphagene, and we'll have a little play around with Morphagene. And I'm sure some of the other modules will come into play along there. Now, what I've been doing over the last few weeks is having enormous fun with this stuff. Since I've moved it into this new little area here, where both of them can live side by side, I've been buying lots of more cables, and really long ones as well, to span the distance here. And I bought some monitors as well, just little ones for here, which are, let's have a look. There we go, we can see it there. PreSonus Eris 4.5s. Now, I'm hoping that they're called Eris after Eris, the god of chaos, that all Discordians should know about. Although, I've got to be careful, you're not meant to mention this stuff in public. Right. So, Eris, yes. So I've got a pair of monitors, the other one is here. So it's really nice. I can actually be in a very close stereo environment now, which is nice. And on Wednesday, I couldn't resist it. I got a subwoofer coming as well for this little spot here. Oh, yes. This is, honestly, I can't tell you how much fun I've been having. So yeah, so Morphagene, which I will talk about later, is almost like a tape recorder, or almost like, they like to describe it almost like music concrete. You can do this idea of splicing little bits of tape together, and then maybe rearranging the tape splices. Again, we'll look at that later, but the thing is fantastic. I'm having enormous joy with that thing. Rosie is now repaired. That's fine. So actually, that Elevator Sound sorted me out. Very, very, very pleased with the service from them in Bristol. I say very pleased. Oh my goodness, a fantastic synthesis, a fantastic modular synth shop. Like, I can get there in less than 10 minutes from my house. Yowza. So yeah, watch out. You know, I mean, so many of you said, we know exactly what's going to happen, and before you know it, you're going to be, you know, expanding out. And I was going, no, I'm just going to stay with this. And now it's, I just explain a little bit what's going on here. I've got the Neutron there, largely just filling space. I'll put that back over into my other synth, onto my other synth rack, once the space is needed. But actually, it is pretty useful. There are plenty of utilities on here as well. Attenuators, mults and whatnot, so it's kind of useful. Now, the modules, there's 2 more new modules. Oh my goodness, I've gone a little bit mad. I have gone a little bit crazed over the last week, last few days. The other new module is the A119 Spring module reverb from Doepfer, and I had to. Actually, I'm going to open it up. I'll show you something. It's a little bit frustrating if you are a rack brute owner like myself. Then the Spring, there's a reverb tank that comes with this. Let me see if I can. There it is. You can see the springs. I haven't fastened it in yet. I'm not 100% sure which one it's going to live in, but frustratingly, with the included sort of phono leads to connect the spring tank, it jutted out too deep, and I couldn't fit it in. But Amazon actually to the rescue. Some right angle jacks there, and all is well. So just be mindful of that. If anyone is similarly looking for a spring reverb, a bunch of different spring reverb modules available. I was very interested. I think the IntelliGel, what is it called? It's the reverb. You can fit 3 different springs, 3 different reverb tanks to that one. But yeah. Why did I go for this one? In part because there's a feedback control there, and that's very nice. So we'll have a little look at that one as well. So let's start then with elements, as I say, from Mutable Instruments. But this one is a clone. I don't actually know who made this one. So if anyone actually does know, I'd be curious to know, because it's very well made. I'm really pleased with the quality of it. Actually, well, the guy who I bought this from, he gave me a copy of his record. I can't remember the name of it right now. It's brilliant. I've listened to side 1. I've got to listen to the rest, and I will report back. But that was an extra bonus. Yeah. So, look, this is all the space I had left, and I was trying to work out what shall I put in there for tonight. And I thought, I know. Me. I'll plug that gap there. Right. Okay. Let's have a look. So, as I say, we're going to explore the elements first, and then we'll modulate it, and then we'll put it into the Morphagene. Okay. There's one more thing I wanted to talk about, and that is the Mordax data, which I was looking for an oscilloscope, which is really great. I had a little bit of issues with it last week, all in operator error completely. But if I'm going to put it into the clock output mode, and I really, really like this, because now I've got 4 separate clocks. I can start all the clocks from here. This is my master tempo, but I can change the clock rates coming out of there as well. So Or maybe I'll do that. We'll see how we go in terms of time. But yeah. So actually running that as a clock is cool, and I'm hoping, and I'm fairly sure I can do that. Though once that is patched in, that I can continue to use it as an oscilloscope without having to pull out the patches for the clock, so I can go back and forward between the different uses of it. Okay, right. So elements. Let's get the sound out first. So again, I've explained, I think, this with my other videos about how I'm trying to get my stereo. I've got lots of stereo devices because Elements is another stereo device. I did say I was going to keep this rack entirely mono. Whoops. But then I didn't expect to get this Elements. This was a surprise module. Let's have a look though. Right, yeah, let's just go here a moment. I have got another module as well. I had to get another one. That's a Doepfer A1353. There's lots of different mixers in the Doepfer range. This one is a 4-channel stereo mixer. So I've got 4 stereo channels, and each one of the channels here has got a CV control. So I can do some quite interesting things. Another way of maybe even thinking about this is 4 stereo VCAs, and I think, I think it's all totally fine with hot CV signal. I think you can do a lot more than just audio processing with it. So it was a toss-up between the Erica synth stereo mixer and this one, but ultimately this one won the day because of those CV-able inputs there. Okay, let's get patching. I'm getting off camera, can't quite see, but I've got some things which is enabling me to get my cabling a little bit tidier in terms of where it is when it's not processed. Gaz Williams, you should get Make Noise Tempi, lots of clocking and other tricks. Okay, see, modules like maybe that one as an example. As you go on, you start to kind of desire modules that you had no interest in whatsoever at the beginning. So yeah. Yes, and we do have 2 rack brutes. This is fairly new to me, this one, and this is the first time tonight that I'm actually showing both at the same time. So I'm really excited about doing this tonight. Anyway, I'm waffling and we have heard no sound. So yeah, I was doing it this way just so we can follow the signal path through. So our output module is the Rosie. Okay, and so our stereo out that's going into my video mixer thing is coming out from here. And at the moment, I've got a stereo feed into the stereo return coming from this new mixer. So for simplicity's sake, I'm going to just, I'll repatch this in a moment, but I'm just going to come out of Elements, left, and into channel 1 here, out. Well, I have been finding that these longer cables, you can be creative with. Not much yet, but we're getting them out of the way. So I'd be interested to see if anyone in the chat room or in the comments. I'm really curious about cables, really, and whether you favour kind of right angle jacks or straight jacks, and when a right angle jack's more useful than straight angles. I'm finding it myself that, too many right angles, they get in the way, but then sometimes they're perfect, allow you access to controls easier, less inhibited in some ways. Yeah, stuff that veterans are like, yeah, come on. But, a newbie like myself, as I say, this is, I'm about 6 months into this kind of journey. Yeah, it's still learning. Okay, right. Sound coming out of Elements, into the mixer, out of the mixer, into Rosie. Now, handily on the Elements, there is a control here, a gate, which if I trigger this gate, it'll just make a single sound. So let's just bring that in carefully. Right then, let's have a little closer look at this elements module, and then we'll see what on earth is going on with it. Okay. Right, so it comprises of two zones. I'm not sure that Mutable instruments still make these, but the left part is the exciter part, and the right part is the resonator. The resonator part has become a module on its own now called rings from Mutable instruments. I think it's evolved a little bit from this, but that's the basic element. And it describes itself as a modal synthesizer, which is an interesting name. Now, there's three exciters. There's a bow, there's blow, and there's strike. You can see how those are three ways of interacting with sound: bow, blow, and obviously strike. And each of those three have a few, well, each of the three have timbre controls, which are modulatable, as is actually all of the, this is fantastic for modulation, because it's just everything, all of the main features all have bipolar attenuators and timbre controls. The bow doesn't have a secondary control, but blow has a thing called flow control, and strike has mallet. And basically what these two are, because I mean this is a digital oscillator, or synth voice even. This is a full synth voice really, because there is actually a reverb on space on the end here, and contour is preset envelopes. So that's actually a very interesting control. And okay, so the flow and the mallet, I think both of those, what they essentially do is I think they change the behavior quite dramatically, I think, by bringing in well, I know certainly in the case of mallet it brings in different types of things like plectrum hits and sort of well, we'll see now. It's a little bit difficult to explain, especially I've only had it for 2 days. Yeah, and flow does a similar thing. It kind of goes through different types of aperture, I think, or oh no, actually that's more in geometry, and I'll come on to that now. So that creates a sound, and then it moves across into this kind of resonator, and this resonator has a coarse tuning, spelled coarse as in golf course here, no, as in of course, not coarse as in my beard, and a fine tuning. Then there is there's an FM input there, bipolar. Now, then we have this control called geometry and brightness, damping, position, and then space, which is that reverb as I mentioned. Right then, so geometry, this is the really interesting control, because this essentially changes the type of resonance. It kind of puts it through pipes, it puts it through like strings, it creates all sorts of physical environments to excite with so we blow and make a resonant sound that is then shaped with the geometry. So geometry starts to kind of make sense as a term. So right, there we go. Now let's have a look. So as I say, gating, I'm triggering it. We're hearing just the bow at the moment. I'll just move up through the timbre. It's kind of more kind of scrapey sounding. I'll back the space off just so we hear it dry. I'm getting a split stereo. It's a bit odd there. It sounds like noise in the left. Yeah, okay. That sounds, you can see the space straight away. As it always does, really help. But we'll keep it dry just for now though. Okay, so that's a little bit of the extent of what the bow can do. The contour, which I guess is relevant with just triggering it from a gate, to the left. Quick in and out. Like a slow attack. Quite long decay. Moving to the right. Aha! So to the right, it's all your kind of has got sustained sections. And I think, is it completely sustaining? I think until I release, yeah, and quick release. Quick in, quick out, but with a sustain section. Okay, so that's kind of how that works. You know, I guess that's doing a lot of envelope jobs in a single knob. Okay, moving on. We'll go below. I don't know if I'm being a bit too. If this is a little bit, am I being a bit too nerdy with this? Do we need to kind of move on a bit quicker? I think. Okay, so this is blow. Now you might think that there's quite a lot of the sound of similarity of sound. Well, it is going to sound a lot of the same because the geometry is having such a huge effect on the sound. So let's just move the geometry control. Yeah, so, you know, it's a kind of curious sound, isn't it? I mean, it's very different as a synthesizer module. It's so utterly different from everything else here. I find there's a world of possibility in it, and it's excited me no end, this thing. So, the exciter section has definitely worked. So what I was just saying there, the blow, for instance, if I go back to the bow. They are very different. But the thing is, you can combine them. So this is a combination of blow and bow. Changing that flow. What a bizarre sound. Yeah, I mean, I apologise for the crudeness of some of this, because there's such a billion possibilities within this. I'd be curious to see people who are really good at it, if you can actually make very authentic sounding, acoustic sounding instruments. I'm partially interested in that, but I think I'm more interested in it just being maybe more otherworldly, but having physical properties connect it to the real world. So that makes it quite interesting. But anyway, I'm having enough now of pressing the gate button, so I'm going to use the Mini Brute as a keyboard. So let's come out keyboard, and then we've got a volt per octave input there, and gate out, of course. Gate input. There we go. So now, oops, we've got some. Let's take the Micro Brute out. Mini Brute, rather. Of course, with it, you know, it's dry. I've taken a reverb off. This sound does sound a little bit harsh and a bit odd. But once we do, you know, maybe like the damping control. That's the position now. Oh, it's almost like phasey quality. Yeah, the module's called Elements. It's and this is a clone, but it's a Mutable Instruments thing. Yeah, it's quite old. You know, again, modular aficionados will be like, yeah, come on, move on. But I think it's amazing. Oh. So applying space. Ah, that's right. I do believe that space isn't just simply an adding, it's not just simply like a distortion control. I do think it kind of does various pan things first and then increases the reverb. So it's more of a macro control. Let's see. See, moving it to there, there's Oh yeah. It's definitely an interesting control. And then it sounds much more obviously reverby once you're in this zone. Now you might be wondering, where is that pitch coming from? That's that coarse control. Of course, of course. It's definitely not subtractive synthesis, that's for sure. What's immediately interesting about it, or when I first plugged it in, I was just like, my goodness, each one of these controls really does something. It does a huge amount of stuff to the sound. So once you start modulating it, there's ridiculous options, and that is exactly what we're going to do now. I think so. I think we've been... Oh, no. No. I apologise. Strike. There was a whole modal synthesis option that I haven't used yet. I'll turn the others off. So strike is different in that this contour envelope, that just only belongs to those two. So strike, I guess, by the nature of it being a strike, has a sort of built-in envelope. Definite samples in there. So just to explain, I'll take space off for a minute. Right, okay, yeah. So I think they're like the different sort of impulses, I think, from samples at this side. And then when we go past 12 o'clock, we start having things where it generates more than a single hit. Oh, there's a bouncing ball vibe there. With that bouncing ball, let's see what the strike control does. Oh, sorry, that's just volume there, sorry. And timbre. Oh, look at it down there. It's a mad synth. I love it. It's definitely some... I don't want to use the term organic quality, but there's certainly a sound to it. That is a real world. Of course, it is, as is virtually all modules, a monophonic, one note at a time synth. It's a bit annoying having two uses of the word monophonic. This is a stereophonic monophonic synthesizer. Right. Okay, so right over here, look at the geometry now. It's the position. Oh, the dampening's right down as well. Oh. How curious. Chuck the space. Oh, look, straight away. As soon as you put the space onto it. Oh. Oh, God. Those blooming cameras. Soon they will be gone. So, again, I've just got the strike there. Let's try bringing the other modules back in to the parts. playing with elements in VCV now? Of course, VCV. I'm assuming that's going to be free then, because VCV Rack you can get for free, and I'm guessing that these modules can't be. Well, maybe someone could confirm that. Ask your head, playing this with an MPE controller should sound amazing. Yes, great idea. Not quite set up for that at the moment, but that is a great idea. What I'm going to be using it with is the Touche, using the CV outs of the Touche, and I think that's going to be. I haven't tried that yet. Oh, that's exciting! So you can see then. I hope you can see straight away that as a starting point, it's a really interesting starting point and utterly unlike anything else that I've got or have ever used to come to that. Right then. Okay, so we're talking about modulations now, and I've got quite a few options here, but these Chaos devices, as people who've watched these shows have seen, I've been getting more and more into these. So I think, yeah, we'll try Batumi. I had a lot of fun with Batumi on my show last week. I'm pretty sure we'll be able to do something fun with it now. Okay, so Batumi is an LFO with a quadruple loop LFO. So each of the LFOs have got different outputs. They've got a sine output, a signable one. You can have another, I can't remember what, but a square output, a square wave out as well. I think in this case, let's go smooth. We're going to go with a sine. And then, look at this. So there's like 10 possibilities. Well, 11 if you include the FM. And, oh yes, I should actually patch in the amount there. That's one that, if I'm using the keyboard, I should definitely use that amount, because that will give us an option to use, if I send the velocity out of the Mini Brute 2 keyboard and into the amount, should give us a degree of velocity sensitivity. Let's just test that. Yeah, I think I would need to probably put that into the Samara maybe, just so I, or the Moog, the AV1. Actually, let's use the AV1 from DPW Designs, Dan Welbeck. What a fabulous man he is. Gosh, he's my guru. He is. I think I was talking about him last week as well, but yeah. Some people might call him a pusher, but no, I would call him more of a guru. Check the voltage levels. Check the voltage levels. Can't see how to do that. Just looking if anything is normaled on the. Oh yeah, the metal mod. Is that? Oh no. Being mad, being silly. Good to see a nice big chat room there. Thank you everybody for joining tonight again. Love it. Love it. Thank you so much for spending time with me. It makes me. It's keeping me sort of sane, if you could call me sane to start with. Whatever I am, it's certainly keeping me that way. So thank you so much. It really is very very meaningful for me, for you to join me. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Where was I? Yeah. So amount. Oh yeah. I think I'll pop that into the AV1, and then when I come out of that, then I can use the AV1 to affect. Okay. That's why organic's about. Oh, sorry, just trying to catch up with the chat room. Keep doing this show, guys. It's great. Thank you so much. That's what I need. A little bit of encouragement. I really appreciate that. Oh God, you guys are. Guys, I keep saying guys. I've been watching too many YouTube videos. Guys being the inclusive term. So if I do use that, because I am entirely inclusive, of course, I wouldn't want to use the wrong language. Right. Okay. Right. Let's get some action going. Okay, so I'm going to I'm going to bring in so Batumi. What was I going to check? What am I going to plug in? I'm going to try into damp, right. I'm just going to make it free running. Ooh. That's Batui. You can hear slowing it down. Let's get more. Let's get them all plugged in and get it doing stuff. I'll just stay with sine waves for now. Geometry is modulatable. Let's try that. That's likely to make it do dead weird stuff. Let's just work with that for a moment. I think slow for that. Just to show what that's doing. So having these little controls to govern just how much Batumi is affecting it is super useful. Sure what physical model this is, but we'll keep on going. I'm going to take another sine wave out, and then let's have a look. Position. I'm not entirely sure what position relates to, but I think it might relate something to the position within the geometry. I'm not sure if it's sort of like scanning along whatever kind of wavetable or something that the geometry is made out of, maybe. Okay, well this is what position is going to do when it's modulated really fast. Oh man, it's super cool. It's super cool. Let's do bigger reverb with it. Brightness. Oh, hang about. I might take that run off the strike. Where are my longest envelopes? So if you're just joining us, then we're only listening to elements at the moment. Everything, obviously a little bit of modulation from Batumi, but all of the sounds are coming from elements. Let's patch in the. another one. And we'll have a little play with some of the funky. Will it reach? Da, 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 no, not quite. This one will. Okay, so this is going to modulate that brightness now. Let's just do it quite reasonably fast so we can hear it working. So here's our 4 modulated yeah. Dan Johnson, I sell cables in the UK, guys. If you need any in the future, great sexy braided ones, get in touch and we'll feature them on the show. That sounds great. Wow. Yeah. Now, I'm thinking we should carry on modulating this bad boy. I mean, I can use the other, other outputs of the Batumi as well. Actually, let's try some square waves coming out of the Batumi and see. So obviously square waves are going to jump directly between 2 values. So that'll sound quite a lot different from our from what we've got going on. Definitely short of some mid-range cables. Right. So we're going to go. We'll take a square wave out. I'll take it from this one. Ooh, okay. I'm going to try this going into our flow controls. So it's going to jump between 2 flow controls. It's hard, doesn't it, with so many modulations to hear things happen. All right, hang on, if I've done that right. Yes. Oh, sorry, I'm being a fool. Let's actually increase this here. Try that in the saw wave instead. Yeah, it's fun, isn't it? Right, more. Let's put some more on there. So, okay, let's bring some of the Zadar in. This is the envelope generator, but of course we can make it loop. So essentially we can make that do LFO type things. And I'm going to put this into the blow parameter. And let's just make this envelope. I'm getting a bit faster on this, you'll be glad to know. Right, I'm going to put a bunch of repeats in. I'm going to make the repeats infinite, and then let's see what happens now. So this is just using a simple triangle in and out. Make it fast. Increase how much it's affected. So this is affecting the blow parameter. Let's make the envelope like a really odd one so it's a bit more distinctive. Oh, let's make it slow. Make it slow. Make it slow. There's not a massive amount of logic to the sound that I'm making here. I'm just keeping on going. So I'm going to take out... oh, I take that from the wrong place. Let's do it from there. Ouch! Apologies for that. That was... let's reduce the strength of that. Whoops. Yes, let's... this is kind of getting a bit horrible. Now, I thought that's affecting the blow. Let's try that in another one. Let's try it in the bow instead. Increasing. I'm getting a bit lost as to which bit is which. I guess just changing the speed is always a way to do it. Some of the shapes. Well, you can definitely hear there's plenty of animation in the sound going on. It's certainly not static, is it? Not necessarily very nice, but we'll try and do something with it. Okay, oh yeah, I'm going to put this into the mallet, so I reckon this will have quite an interesting effect. So channel B, again, similar thing. We'll just change the page and make that infinite as well. Infinite, yes. Yes, I reckon you can hear it trigger. It'll be like firing different sort of... I'll take the volume of the blow and bow out for now. So you can hear... Now, so make this one slower, and definitely make this one all over the shape. So, that's something like that. Bring the other things back in. I'm going to try something now. I'm going to try running an arpeggiator. And then I'll try and see if I can sculpt it a little bit into something that's a bit more pleasing. But yeah, it's definitely a curious sound, isn't it? How about some sample and hold to the strike character? Why not? I like being able to go, I can do that. I can. So I'm going to come out of my LFO. I'm going to go to sample and hold. Oh, is it the last one or is it the second to last? I think it's the last one. From the Mini Brute into strike. And then LFO 1. Hang on, let's turn the other ones off so we can hear this effect now. Wow. Slowing it down a bit. Interestingly, there is something that links elements with the Morphagene, and in the manuals of both allude to the influence for the modules to come from musique concrète and the experiments that were going on largely in the 50s and into the 60s using, in the case of the Morphagene, cutting up bits of tape, but also in the case of elements, using elemental sound to then sound design from that and to create brand new sounds. Yeah. Okay, let's get an arpeggiator rolling. And bringing in the other elements now. I guess the bow, it might be a bit too slow. Inverted Pope talking about Pamela's workout, or Tempe. Pamela's workout is what Mylar Melodies has been trying to get. He's banging on about that to me. I'm hoping, though, that the data is going to kind of tick some of that boxes, certainly as a centralized place for clock. Changing the contour now will have big effect, I think. Mad, isn't it? I have an FM control that is not being used. I think I'm going to send another LFO out from the Mini Brute. I'll send an LFO2 out this time, and that's going to go into the FM input. FM. Right. Ouch. So mind my levels. Yeah. Let's see if I've got control of my levels here. Yep. I'm setting the LFO2 to be a sine wave. This is the rate of the LFO2 now, affecting FM. Oh, sorry, I need to actually apply some. No static at all. Yes. So I was saying though that contour does make an enormous difference, doesn't it? Right, okay. So I said the next thing I was going to do once I'd got that all modulated up is I'm going to run that into Morphagene now. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to just take the master outputs which I've got coming into this stereo mixer. I'm going to pull those out from there and just put them into Morphagene, and then essentially just have Morphagene intercept that signal. I think that makes sense. Yeah, these long cables, you sort of can just tuck them out of the way. I think I might get, yeah, I don't know, it's interesting. I'm going through discoveries with cables. I'm going to need to switch the camera angle over for this one as well. channel 1. Can't believe how easy it is just to plug things in wrongly, really obvious things when you're doing these live streams. Thanks for those of you who stuck with me last week. I feel a lot more confident. To be absolutely honest with you, I'd been in a little bit of I've been so busy with other things that the modular stuff I've been not spending enough time on. Not anymore. Now I am thoroughly engaged with it. It's a lot to do with I'm doing some building and rearranging work in my studio, and this is part of a new setup which I will be kind of revealing as we go along, which is my 2-person jam setup. I think I might have shown some of it, but yeah, anyway, that's stuff to come, and hopefully when lockdown eases up as well, but I will be having guests coming into the studio to be doing some live jamming with me. So getting the infrastructure set up ready for that. And also, in case you don't know, I do a show on Wednesday night, I'm sure most of you probably know, at 8:30, which is going to be probably other things as opposed to Eurorack related stuff. But maybe it might be Eurorack stuff. I might just do 2. Who knows? That's my choice. But thank you everybody for sticking around though anyway. Right then, where are we? So, right, we're going into Morphagene, so that necessitates a switcheroo of the camera, and let's try this one. And I'm going to give those cameras a little refresh. Right, let's just do that, so they don't die on me again. Right, Morphagene here. I wonder if I can get that in a bit tighter with that camera. Let's see. From Make Noise, a very, very well-known module, so I'm sure many of you will know it already. But those of you who don't, you're in for a real treat. This is, I think, this kind of represents to me the thing I was always looking for, which is being able to use it like a tape deck. And then go beyond that. At the bottom here is a little SD card, so you can take your reels with you, because Morphagene uses the concept of reels, and this little blue light here indicates that we're on the blue reel. Morphagene has a way of, instead of using numbers, it uses a color sequence. So like learning what is, if you're bringing in sounds, I guess it's like learning what color reel it is. So if you think about a tape reel, and that's kind of a cool way of thinking about this. So what we've just done is we've just like put a brand new tape on here, and the tape is 2.9 minutes long. This reel of tape, I'm not sure, I can't remember, is it 8? I think you can have 8 reels or something, or it might be more, 32 reels. I can't remember how many reels. Maybe someone can help there. But the reels, you could just do a long 2.9 minute recording, and that's it, and then play it back. I forgot to update my notes, didn't I? I'm so sorry. The slap bass sitar horror show. Oh no, I put the wrong notes. Damn. Yep. Damn. Oh well. At least there won't be any slap bass sitar horror tonight. Okay. So I'm going into Morphagene. So as I say, I'm just going to use it like a tape recorder for now. And this control at the top here, which is labeled sound on sound, you could almost think of it as a dry wet mix as well. But it is kind of relevant because it will, what you hear is what you get. And this is one of the really interesting things with Morphagene, is that you could be modulating stuff and having things move around and then overdub onto it, but it will overdub ignoring those modulations. No, other way around. what you hear, your overdub and all the choppy modulation is what the track becomes. I think it's easier if I demonstrate this. Okay, let's get an arpeggiator running. I can make some sense out of it. Where that little chirp is coming from. Is that from the FM? Okay. It's a bit of a weird sound, but we'll just run with it for now. Okay, so I'm going to create a reel, a splice to record it to. Oops, how do I do this? That's it. I've made a really short splice. Let's just wipe that. I'll start again. I'm new to this thing, by the way. Let's just go totally dry. Right. Let's record again. So, in. Just going to put a little bit of nonsense down. I've just changed some of the features here. And I hit record. So now if I move this across here. Oh, I'm still looking. Oh, that's right, sorry. Let's take these out. And here's my little recording. Now, I can drop splices in and start slicing this thing up into little bits. Slice. 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 Splice, rather, not slice. Splice. Splice. Okay, so I've got a bunch of splices now. Now, this is where things start getting interesting. I've got an organize control here. We can see the colours changing here. That's which splice is playing. Listen how great it sounds when you drop it down. It's like a double bass hit, isn't it? I like that. It's like some weird crooner from hell. Right. Oh yeah. Right. Now there's some more controls here. Slide is like where in the splice we're taking it from. Increase the morph here. So the morph plus this morph between the different so the gene size is how small a little bit of that recording we're using, and then when I move the slide, then changing the start point. But as I add in morph layers, it kind of creates crossfades between these layers. And when we go further over here, it starts creating some randomization, including octave. It's cool, isn't it? Change the vary speed now. to this vary speed. Again, it uses colours. Kind of the light blue there when it's at its fastest, the darker blue, purple, and then at roughly 3 o'clock when it goes green, that's actually playing back at our recorded speed. That's fun. And then going. If I park it in the middle, it should make it come to a complete stop. Or nearest to it, not quite. And then, but if I move it left, it runs the tape backwards, and it works in the same principle where it goes light blue, but it's all running in reverse. So when it goes green, there we go. Green is the same, the recorded speed, but played in reverse. Add some layers of this. Wow. Oof. I was definitely making it stop before. There. Okay, you can make it stop. Yeah, it is a lovely module, Morphagene. It's new to me. It's very new, and I really did a lot about it. It's 500 quid. It's a lot of money for a module. However, the sound quality is stunning. It really does sound top quality, and anything with a white box around them are CV inputs, and you can do an awful lot of modulation with this as well. So morphing the gene size. So gene size, just to go over the terminology, like morphagene, we're talking about you make a recording onto your reel. You can then drop in splice points, and then it'll just loop around in those smaller bits, and you use the organize control to pick which splice is currently playing. Now that organize control is modulatable, so it can jump around between your splices. Now, when you've made a splice, that splice that's playing back, then the gene sizes, you can kind of reduce how long that splice is playing, and then that's where the slide allows you to move that little whatever the gene, as you've called it, to slide the start point of that gene around within that splice. Then the morph creates overlaps, so crossfades, and then, as I say, as you get further over to the right, it starts doing lots of interesting things. And hearing that is something that I have been really enjoying. I notice it certainly with the Make Noise, but with the Mutable instrument stuff as well. In the I guess these are more digital modules, but the fact that they allow a lot of macro controls, so it's not just a simple parameter that you're changing. It's different parameters at different areas, or very different things. We've seen that a few times, like the space on here, but also this morph control as well, which just really does reward the more exploratory approach to things. Okie dokie, right. Let's see. So I was doing a bit of Morphagene. That's a bit kind of crazy. Yeah. Now I'm gonna mention about one more module that's in here. The keener-eyed viewers may have spotted it, but we'll have a little look at it now. Let's get the right view up. It's not actually in sight. Is it not in sight? Let's have a little look. Again, it was being sold locally. Another very cool guy, and it's have I got a view of it? Let's see. Oh, I see. Yeah, this one. If I zoom back out of this one, here, right over here. Oh, hang on. Yeah, I can do this. I can do this. I know how to do this. Let's go back here. Change this one and move this one down. Right. Yep. There it is. And this time it's not a clone. It is an actual Mutable instruments, because I've got two clones. I've got a clone of clouds and now a clone of elements. But this is grids. What? Grids? That's drum programmer. You said you weren't going to do drums. Yeah. That was my initial feeling, that I just didn't really. I've got lots of drum machines. I thought I would do, I would avoid drum machine type things. Again, this is being sold locally, and it was just too much of a interesting thing to let it go. Now, grids is kind of like a drum, a 3-channel drum sequencer, but you don't program the beats. The beats are all kind of pre-programmed, and the way it sort of works is that channel 1 is a kick, channel 2 is a snare, and channel 3 is a hi-hat. And it's called grids because if you imagine like a grid, it's a little bit like GarageBand, the way that the drum thing works on GarageBand, where you've got a kind of complexity amount. So for instance, these controls here will be complexity. So as I increase them, it'll play busier like a busier kick drum to a simple kick drum. Now down here are ways to move around this grid of pre-programmed beats, and that's all like modulatable. And so you've got map X and map Y, and then you've got like a chaos control. So we've got trigger outputs, accent outputs. We've got fill inputs as well. So fill can you can just make it do some pretty mad stuff. Now, I haven't actually got any dedicated drum modules in here, but what I have got is a disting. Let's have a little look at the disting. The disting is something, again, and relatively new to me, and an incredible machine, incredible thing. So we've got the two distings. We've got the Disting Mark IV and the Disting EX. So the Disting EX can either function as two of these, or it can function as a special EX, like single algorithm as it's called on here. If I went and picked algorithms, choose single or enter dual mode. Well, we're going to go into single mode here, and in one of the algorithms we've got SD6 triggers, meaning essentially a drum, well, not necessarily drums, but this can function as a little drum voice. We got 6 inputs. We only need 3, but this will do for now. So we'll choose that. Now we can browse the folders and find some sounds. Are you sponsored by Disting? You talk about it so much. God, I'm not sponsored by Disting. That's Expert Sleepers rather, but do you know, it's absolutely, for me, it's a mind-blowing module. It's so deep. Oh, I did find yes, I did find a really nice third-party developed little guide to the Disting, the Disting Mark IV. I'll put a link to it in the notes afterwards if you have got a Disting. I haven't got it, but it's like a visual guide that's really nice, because as you can see, you've got this little dot matrix display here, and learning to navigate it is, it is tricky, it is fiddly. You've got 2 knobs, both of which can be buttons. Actually, there is an algorithm in here which is a single drum voice. So I think we should use 1 drum voice from there and then 2 triggers, because the drum voice on here is an actual synthesized drum voice. So we'll do a combination of both distings. Now, I think I might need to pillage one of my longer cables. Definitely need more cables. Right, so I'm coming out I'll just do a kick from now. It's going to come out of the trig. It's going to come out of the trig of the grids, and it's going to go into the input one of the disting. We need some outputs of the disting. Coming out. One. For now, just going to be, it's just rosy, really simple. One in, one out, just for now. Now, grids does have a clock input, so let's do it. I'm gonna. This is something I've been intending to do. Come out of data. If I can make it reach. I've got to get this one right now, not make a fool of myself. I'm going to come out of CV. Not actually done this before. Right, so it's going into clock. Let me just see now. I think I come out of the. Are they CV? Oh my goodness, I haven't done this before. I'm just looking at Edna's disco machine. So I used grids with a pico trig and then 2 AND gates, so you can get a regular beat and then introduce grids for variation. Also 5 pico drums with Euclidean circles. So good. I need Pam's with grids. So it's like Pamela's workout with grids. Oh, you have a printed version. Something in the back of your mind says there's an app. There is an app. That's right. Someone has made an app, haven't they? Regarding the disting with, I think it's like some app which is, yeah, that's like some sort of interactive guide to it. Is it? I'm not sure. I need to check that out. Okay. Running my clock. Drop our tempo down. That's nice. You've got a mad big range that it can work to. Let's get some sound though first. Right. So I'm coming out. Yes. At the moment, it's just triggering a loop here that we don't want. Let's. Okay, that'll do for a moment. So as I change the control on grids, now so it's a little bit of a just move it around until you can until you find something that you like. But we need more than just a kick. So I need a longer, I think I've run out of long cables. There's a big distance now. I didn't used to have such big distances involved. Right, long cables. I'm going to borrow, I think I'm going to have to nick the LFO, one of the LFOs. There's enough action going on in the elements. It's all a bit nonsense. Okay, so I'm going to come out of the second one. Coming out of the second one on grids, going into channel 2. Right, here we go. Let's actually select sample 2. Quite nice with the clave there, isn't it? So I know what I want to do. It means having to pillage more long cables from our patch. I want to send back out of here. I'm going to just make a quick adjustment to my patch here. Let me get a better view for you all to see what's happening. Okay, I'm going to right, elements output. I need more long cables. God, it's amazing how many cables you go through. Right, just stop these for a moment. Right, I'm just going to quickly make a little patch, make some shorter distances so I can have more longer cables. Right, let's check all that stuff over there for now. Okay, so I'm going to bring in a little mix up now. This is an IntelliGel little mini mixer. It's okay. It's got two mono channels and a stereo channel, plus a third stereo kind of through that hasn't got any volume control. The three channels are just simply I've got mute switches to them, but there's nothing modulatable on this at all. It's a very simple little utility mixer. In this case, we're just going to use it as a bit of a way to cut down the distance of the cable runs. I'll come into channel 3. And then I guess I'm going to come smaller distance out. Yes, this is all working. I'm going to go back into Morphagene. Yep, that reaches. I'm not being particularly worried about what is left and what is right, but it makes too much of a difference. Okay. Let's find where our sound is at. What is all that peepiness going on? I've completely killed the patch. Right, doesn't matter. We're building something new now anyway. Right, so we've got our drums playing. Nice. Remember the module I told you about earlier? Done a little Spring Reverb one. Yes, that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to come out of the Disting EX. I'm just going to go into audio in of the Spring, and then the mix out. I've got that coming then into the mix up here into channel 1. Okay, so no. I know what I need to do. It's going to come out. It's going to go into the Moog distortion. Yeah. In fact, there is a cool tip that Dan told me, Dan from DPW, to actually take the reverb return into the high impedance input of the Moog. I won't do that just yet because I haven't got an adapter nearby, but I'm going to use the output of the Spring though to go through the Moog, and then that gives me a lot of control. Oh, there is something I want to demonstrate as well. I think it is really, really cool. Let's do this first. Just do this first. I don't know where that. It's like there's some chirpy bird in here. Right, let me see what's happening. Right, okay. So our drums are now coming out through the Spring Reverb into the mix-up, into the stereo thing, through. All right, that's the signal path. Let's see what it sounds like. Distortion is off at the moment. Let's just have a listen to this Spring. So the controls we've got on this one is level, let's see if we can get these two. Okay, level, and then dry wet mix, totally wet, dry. Let's find a cool little place in between. Okay. Then we've got emphasis, which puts in like a top end. Really. Okay. And then the control that you've all been waiting for, feedback, where we can send some of the output back through the spring. Let's hear that feedback coming in now. Hear it coming in. So you back it off so you get a little bit of the, a bit more level. Now, distortion. I'm going to take the volume down, switch it in. Here, bring it in. So distorting. Take our tempo down. Pull the mix back a bit. Feedback. Yeah, I could. Hang on, I'm gonna flick the. I'm gonna just flick the tray. If I don't get electric shock. Can I kick it? Yes, I can. Oh, it doesn't really. You have to hit it quite hard, I think. Okay, let's bring in that third drum. External feedback in. I haven't investigated what that does yet. Let's just come out though. I'm going to go into the disting, into X. Now, this is where I need to consult my guide to see which disting. I'll show this thing. Hang on, let's just pan across here. I'm not sure who's made this guide, but it's really helpful. Really, really helpful. Let me just change this. Get rid of me there. Okay, there we go. Just stop. Let's just stop our. This is really, really helpful guide for the disting. Let's see if I can. Hopefully, you can read it. So everything is alphabetical 1 to 8, and I can't quite. It's hard, isn't it, to get that to look all right on there. Oh, I don't know. If I can get the top text eligible. But what you can see with the disting then, Z, X, Y, A and B. Z is a CV input. XY, well, XY can be CV inputs as well, but like think of XY inputs, AB outputs, and then the Z being that second parameter is the second control is modulatable. Okay, let's have a look. Now I'm going to look through here to find. You can see how many there are. You know, it's ridiculous. And I was thinking when I got the grids, and I was thinking I didn't have drum modules, and I was thinking I probably have in the disting. And sure enough, I found this on the disting EX. But there we go. C5 is a resonator drum synth. Okay, let's come back out of there then. So that's a really handy little guide there. So I've got that iPad. That's an iPad 2, by the way. Some viewers from what might remember that iPad fondly from all of those Sonic touches from way back. That's my first iPad. And you can get iPads, like an iPad 2, you can get them for around 50 quid, $50 now, you know, from places, you know. And they are super useful for, like in this case, just I'm using this mostly here. It has two functions. One is it's the mix controller for my mixer, which is that everything here is plugged into, which is a Behringer XR18, which then uses this as a remote mixer. And increasingly, I'm just using it as a reader for PDF files. Really handy. So just to my left then. Okay, let's get back here. Sorry about this, drunken. Hope everyone is still well. We're yeah, nice big chat room. It's great once again. Okay, let's get that focused ish. All right, let's run with that. Oh my goodness, I've forgotten what it was. What was it? C5. Yeah. Wrong camera. Let's go back here. Let's go on to this one. This one. In fact, this one. In fact. Yeah. So I'm going to go through. I'll go here to change the algorithm. And come up to C5. My parameters available to me on this resonator drum synth is not an awful lot. Let's see what we can do. I'm sending like a hi-hat thing to it. Of course, we need outputs from there too. Well, the disting is sat next to the clouds, so let's just put it through clouds for now. I'm going to turn clouds off, but I'm sure we will be turning it back on pretty soon. And then, yeah, why not? So then we'll have a stereo return out of clouds. If I can get a cable to reach. Yeah, these should reach. Stereo channel 2. There it is. There it is. Turn that down for now. Okay, I'm going to take stereo out because clouds can do some cool stereo things. Right, let's have a look what we can do to this thing. Pitch. Decay as well, but we want a hi-hat. Can I get a hi-hat out of it? Does it do, what else does it do? Well, no, it's a resonant drum. It's not gonna, I should probably put some noise source in here for making a hi-hat. Yeah, so it's more of a, it's quite a simple little drum. What else can I do? Pitch it up and make it really short. Bit too. That's a bit like the clave, really, isn't it? Actually, let's do that. Let's swap this around. I'm gonna put 2 into there. I reckon I can find a hi-hat on here. Okay, great. Right. I want to get modulating grids in a minute though, but let's just load in. So I'm going to pick here. I want to find sample 2. It was set to a clave. I'm going to look for some sort of hi-hat. Here we go. 2. Oh, let's pitch that up. I like it. Have a little peep at what Clouds is doing. Quite like that. Now, right, let's try and synchronize things up then. How are we doing for time? Ooh, yeah. Shall we carry on? I was going to stop. I was going to do an hour and a half, but maybe I'll go on until another half hour. Let's do a 2-hour stint. So I want to get some movement going on. There's a little bit too static, some of these sounds, and this hi-hat sound. Oh, it'll do for now. Let's get something going on with the other thing. Synchronization. Okay. Clock. Right, yes, so data. Out. And then into clock here. Run. I need to figure out why that is not sending clock. I'll tell you what, I'm going to come out of the gates of the noodle box instead. No, the sync out rather. Seems to not be clocking very well here. Okay. I'm assuming that's clock in, not clock out. Maybe it's clock out. Maybe it's clock out. Turn grids anti-clockwise, external sync. Thank you. Anti-clockwise. Okay. My gorgeous, glorious chat room. You are so awesome. Yes. I'm a happy bunny now. Yes, it's working, yeah. So, Oris, how do you say that? Aristostatic? I'm assuming there's, can you run Can you clock out from grids somehow then? Send a clock out. I don't know how to. Not that we need to now. Okay, right. So 114 BPM. There we go. That'll do for the moment. So as I mentioned, 4 clocks out of here. I've got 4 sequences in this lot here. Grids, which you can hear now. The Noodle box, the Mini Brute 2 Arturia, and the subharmonicon. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And later, when I bid you all farewell, I'll probably carry on doing into the night, playing around with this very thing. Because so clock number 2 is coming out, and I'm going to go into yes. Let's clock it in. Let's clock the subharmonicon then. Yeah, great. So let's get the subharmonicon into action. God, I love this thing. We want the subharmonicon wants some effects. So we'll come out of the subharmonicon into the Radical Technologies FX, and then out of there into another of our stereo inputs. In. Gosh. Little chirpy bird. So we need to clock the Arturia as well. So so our sequences are all in sync. Will it reach? Yes, it will. Coming out of channel 3 of the data. Sequencer clock. Yeah. There's a switch on the Mini Brute that chooses to sync, so I'm going to move the sync to clock. Sounds like we're clocked, doesn't it? Should we see how fast the data can go? 200. 250 BPM. 350 BPM. Oh yes. 450. Wow. 550, 650, 750, 850, 950. Yes. So I think 0. Oh, it's good it goes to 0. It's good that it goes to 0. That's nice. Holy cow, this thing is cool. 100. So I'm imagining now we've got multiple outputs of the Zadar or the Batumi that we could put into the grids to get grids doing something a bit more interesting. Let's get this thing. Try and get some sort of tuning going on. Oh, it's a mess now. It makes no sense. That little chirp. It's definitely one of these modulators. Ah. Now that's with all the elements turned down. That little bird. That little tweety bird. Is somewhere in the system. Okay, let's bring the subharmonicon down out of here for a moment. Bring it back. Just try and get some sort of control. What is that tweet? I reckon an invisible bird of destiny is using one of the springs in a spring reverb as a perch. Very funny, Steve. Not the greatest patch, but God, that Elements is good though. Get a few little bits and bobs arriving this week that's going to facilitate some quite nice stuff. Getting a monitor controller for this little area that's going to allow me to sort of send a record out of what you're hearing, and that's going to be super useful for putting into things like the Morphagene, just to be able to always just go record, you know, whatever you can hear across the stereo bus. Just need some WD-40. Yeah, definitely. Oh god, this is like a tuneless nonsense, but let's just play with the clock divider so out here just for a moment. So clock one is everything sort of kind of doing like in triplets into clock one now. Nonsense. Right, let's get grids doing something now. Okay, I'm just gonna knock these things out for a moment. Right. Oh, the cheapy bird. Oh, try and track that down. Better just give my cameras a little kind of refresh. There we go, done. Stop them dying. Yeah, subwoofer arrives Wednesday, so some of this stuff is going to sound really great out of the monitors. I have to say, these little PreSonus Eris speakers, 4.5, Eris 4.5s, 's, 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 4.5s, I think I got them B-stock, these ones. They were about 120 quid or something. I think maybe about 140 quid normally. So they're really, pretty cheap. And the way these work is, rather than both speakers being active, essentially the one over to my left is passive and the one on the right is the master. And then it sends, so it's, the stereo amp is in there and it just powers the other one. Right. I feel I might need to kill that bird. Or at least understand where it's coming from. Hang on, I'm just going to take out the modulators and see if I can work out. Let's take the outputs out of this. It's definitely coming out of the elements, isn't it? No! It's not. Oh, sorry, elements. Where is it coming from? No morphagene, it's off. Yeah. Bird in the machine. Not coming from grids. Ah. Just isolated the bird. Try to stop it. No. Just turning all my mixer channels down. Aha. Out. Ah, would you believe it? It was the mini brute all along. There was a little bit of, oh my goodness. It was the mini brute. The mini brute. I feel calm. I feel calm now. Now I've killed that bird. Right, let's creep things back in and try and figure out. Not sure I'd want that spring on a kick anyway, really, but so we're going to do some. I've got a couple of unused Zadar channels. Let's use them. That's quite a funky little beat though, that is. Quite like that. That's that resonant drum from the disting. It's quite nice. Okay. So that's our supposed hi-hat. I do think I can actually do a low pass filter. I think I can get in there. So it's transposed up, fine tune, choke group. Oh no. That's cool. This choke group's on there though for this little 6-channel drum thing. Okay. Anyway, we'll just use that sound just to hear what happens if we modulate it then. So I'm going to plug into map X, and I'm just going to put an output from Batumi first, channel 5. Is that making any difference to that pattern? What happens if it goes into fill? Map Y. try. Not sure that's really doing much, is it? Okay, let's come out of Zadar, channel output C. Output C. Let's make that then repeat again. Output C. Oh, sorry, rubbish camera angle for you there. I'm just operating the Zadar at the moment. Okay, cool. Okay, so C is cycling. Shall I swap that camera over? Just do that. Let's see if we can see both. Oh, pull out a little bit more. Okay, there we go. Okay. A little bit fuzzy, sorry, just trying to do the live focusing. But I'll do it for now. And find an interesting pattern. Actually, I'm just going to use this triangle for now. In fact, even easier, I think. I'll just have this. That's essentially like a ramp up. Affecting parameters. Let's make it slow so we can. So it's going to take around 5 seconds to do a complete a cycle. I haven't read the manual for grids, so that appears to be doing nothing. Try it to chaos. Or maybe I just, if I can't tell what's going on. I can't see if this is doing anything. So, okay, this will tell me. Yeah. So it's just doing a very simple repetitive pattern of that. If I plug it into X. Do an awful lot, does it? Okay, so if I turn that down, turn this up, hopefully, no, no, it makes no sense to me. I should research this one. I wasn't going to even show this one tonight because I really haven't played with it much. Okay, we'll just leave it do its thing. It's definitely changing the pattern a little bit, so so hear how this pattern changes then. Oh, it's good. I like it. I kind of like things where you can just like, yeah, leave it sort of just doing its thing and okay. Right, let's go back to getting something happening with the elements then. So that's what the mini brood sequencer is, arpeggiator rather, is driving. Let's see what happens to the sound. I'm going to take all the modulations out. Oh, that's horrible. We are in sync though, let's just make sure. No. Why is this not? I don't know. That doesn't seem to be. Why is this? Output into clock. I thought it was working. It worked before. Oh, it's nice. Okay, maybe if I go into sequencer instead. If I make a little sequence, I think. Now when I start it, it should. No, it shouldn't. It's not sending. Clock sequencer in. Out. What that's doing. Oh, Tangerine Dream make it look so easy. Yes, they do. Okay, do you know, I think I'm going to probably clock off in a minute. I just saw the time. I've been at this for 2 hours now. How are we doing? Oh, there's a lot of you out there. Oh, it's hard when I know you're out there, and there's a lot of fun happening in the chat room. I feel like a meanie. Oh, well, I'll keep going in. It's just that, you know, I call it falling off the log when everything's happening and it's good, and then you do something and then suddenly you've lost it. You can't get it back. It's like falling off the log. That was all seeming to work for me now, and I just don't know why. Coming out of channel 3, let's just try coming out of channel 4 just in case it makes any difference. No. Ah! Sync. I haven't knowingly switched the sync. I had it set to clock. Must have knocked sync by mistake. Okay, that's why. Duh. Obvious, really, as it usually is. So. It's a horrible thing. Let's make a. I'm just going to program a little sequence in, so I'll go. What's going on with the clock divider here? Let's have a look. Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible. It's a horrible tune. That's horrible. Ugh. Rancid. Oh, it shouldn't sound like a wedding. The drums are bugging me now, so I'm gonna... Ooh. Right, I think I am actually. I'm going to call it a night now. I think because it's late and I am I'm a bit tired. Thank you everybody for joining me. I haven't quite got into a groove yet, which I've got into earlier in the day. Again, you have to believe me. And it's funny that thing. As soon as like that sync button was off, and I hadn't noticed on the mini brute, there's so many places, and this is a relatively small setup compared to what a lot of people have got. I mean, it's quite overwhelming to me. Oh, shut up, man! Siri just gonna. Okay, yes. Thank you, everybody. I'm gonna go. This is great. I'm gonna be back on Wednesday at 8 p.m. UK time for my regular week show. Got something again I'm really quite excited about. Something very different. Not in here, back into the normal space. So please join me for that, and please consider subscribing if you haven't already, and click that click a like if you like. Actually, if you could all click like, that would be really, really helpful. Only click like if you do indeed like. But don't click the thumb down if you don't like it. I don't know. Maybe thumbs down is good. Yeah, I've been having some conversations with some friends regarding like YouTube and how things kind of work and how to maybe kind of get a bigger audience. Not that this is necessarily worthy of an audience, but yeah. But I think people keep saying remind everyone to like your videos and that sort of thing. So yeah, and I don't typically remember to do that. But anyway, I'm waffling, as is my skill. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna go, and thanks ever so much, everybody, and see you hopefully Wednesday or next Monday for more Eurorack nonsense. And I'm just gonna reach over here and hit here. I'm gonna say cheerio.